Hi, my name is Sheldon Livesay. I want to tell you an experience that happened to me in 1978, and it could be an answer or a piece of an answer to how come so much of our nation seems to be infiltrated by groups of people that are anti-Christian and literally anti-American. I had worked in retail when I got out of school in 1971, and I was moved to several different locations, ending up in Columbia, South Carolina. And at that point, I sort of got disillusioned with the retail group that I was working with, and I decided to leave that occupation, and I got a job as a publisher for a statewide publishing company. I was the editor for that. I did publications like college newspapers, magazines, and some books. And I was notified that I was to go to a home of a lady by the name of Dr. Helen Billings because she wanted to republish some books that she had written. She was the lady that brought the Montessori School of Learning to America. So anyway, I make my way over, and she lived, I thought this was really on the college campus of the University of South Carolina. If not, it was just right at the edge of that, and it looked like a very large apartment building. And so here I make my way over, I park, and I get out and I go, and I notice that something's a little different from what I'm used to, because as I go to the door, there is a armed security guard that let me in the door. And he asked me who I was there to see, and he walked across the hallway to the elevator, a single elevator. There was a phone. He called up and asked if I had an appointment, which I told him I did, but he was verifying that they were ready to see me. And then he said, wait just a minute, and the elevator comes down, and a bellhop is on the elevator. So now I'm going up, and I'm thinking, this apartment building is big enough that it has maybe, 4, 6, 8 apartments on this one level, this one floor. So we go up to the third floor, and when the door opens, we open into a single apartment. So the lady that I've come to see is a rather wealthy lady, and just in the maybe 5 minutes, somebody took me off the elevator, and they let me say, wait right here for just a minute, and somebody will be back to escort you back in just a minute. Well, within this 5 minutes that I waited, I probably counted 10 to 15 different people that were working for this lady. As you could see through several rooms, there was a formal dining room, there were people in there working, there were people cleaning, there were people that were dressed well that looked like they were business people that were working for this lady. And then a lady comes to meet me, and she has, I'm wearing a suit, but she also has a blue blazer, white top on, and a blue skirt, business attire. And she leads me back to a room that has, I remember at least one couch. There was bookshelves in a couple of different places, and some pictures of some type, documents that were hanging on the wall. So this was a business place where she would meet with people. There were some wingback chairs in there. But when she comes out, because I come from a publishing company and she thinks I'm a very liberal journalist of some type, and writer maybe, then she comes and sits right next to me on the couch. And she's a lady. Of course, I'm just out of school, I'm not 30 years old yet, and she's probably at that time in her 80s or early 90s. A very thin, wiry, energetic woman. And she sits down, and over a period of hours, this lady begins to let me know, tell me, and I'm not going to use the word brag, but some people want you to know what they've accomplished in life. And she begins to let me know, as a liberal journalist, what she has accomplished in her life. So she begins to explain how she came to America in the late 40s, early 50s, along with some other folks that were very big in the humanist movement at that time. And they would meet together, and they each took segments of our society that they were going to be assigned to change. Now that surprised me. I'm thinking I'm hearing a conspiracy theory. What do you do with something like this? So all you can do is listen, right? And I've not even known where to disclose it until now. And I don't know if this is a proper channel, but it's all we've got, right? So she sits down and she lets me know that her assignment was the school systems and that she was allowed the money, the access to the funding so that they could get people to write school books and textbooks, but they were going to leave out of the history anything that had to do with Christianity. They were going to leave anything out of any of the books that had to do with Christianity, and they began stripping those methodically. Any story of our founders looking to God or our founders praying or being on their knees, any of those type of things, they were to take out of the school books. And then on the other side, they were to have people that they bribed on the inside of the school districts that would adopt these set of school books in place of the ones that they were using. In other words, this was a planned, methodical effort to take Christianity out of the textbooks of the schools of this nation, beginning with the more liberal places, and then they would work their way through the country. And she explained how they did that, as well as other of this group that she said were assigned to other of what we call the pillars of influence, and how they were to infiltrate those, how they were to plant people in them, and the way that they were to do that. So she spent a little bit of time doing that, but most of what she talked about was the fact of what she did and how she went about doing it. And then she explained too, she said, we have to get Christianity out of this nation. It's the most dangerous thing in the world. And she explained how her sister had become a Christian and how dangerous that was. And she acted as though her sister had lost her mind by becoming a Christian. One of those, she said. And that their effort was that this was the enemy. Christianity was the enemy, and they had to rid America of Christianity. So if over the past 60 years, 70 years, we have seen what looks like an effort behind closed doors that was done in secret behind our backs while we were doing other things, and that effort now has led down to where we see the massive results of years and years of methodical work behind these closed doors. It could be because of acts like this. Dr. Billings went over and took down a framed document of the Humanist Manifesto. And under that were the signatures of what she said were some of the most powerful people in America at that time. And her name was right there among the others. This was signed back in the 50's, I'm assuming, if I remember right. And I'm just telling you that as I walked out of that place, we did publish her book, but I had chills all over me. What do you do with information like that? And all you can do is like Mary, really, when the angel appeared to her and told her she was going to have a baby, she harbored those things in her heart. I've carried them until the Lord says it's vitally important that you begin to release this, because there's Christians across the nation that have no idea what's going on, and they won't believe you even when you tell them. But I can guarantee I personally witnessed at least one person that divulged a piece of the plan. Now, if we just had others come together and we put pieces of the plan together, and then how over the years things have changed and all the progression has taken place and the money trails and all of the stuff that has to take place to do the kind of things that have been done in secret that have brought about the results that we see today, it would be amazing. But this is one piece, and do with it what you wish. But I felt I needed to share that with you. God bless you. Thank you for the opportunity of just sharing this with you today. God bless you, and you have a great day.